Hey Ratbags, I've got news today about Grounded 2 potentially being made and confirmed by new developers being hired on an unannounced IP. I'm going to briefly break down why this is a big deal, why PlayStation players, you're scratching your head going, the game's only came out in April, how comes we're getting a sequel, where's the updates? You may need your tinfoil hat on here, but I definitely feel like this is pointing towards a Grounded 2 being officially worked on, in public at least anyway. I think they've been working on it for a while. But yeah, we do need to discuss the current state of Grounded at the moment. My name's Jade, you're Ratbags, let's go. The home of Grounded news always first. Let's go. Okay, the lowdown. Grounded was actually out 4 years ago on Xbox. After 2 years it came out of early access into 1.0 and we had some good updates. It launched on PlayStation and Switch, but it had a big chunky update alongside that update launch with New Game Plus. So there's definitely some PlayStation players going, well, are we going to see any more updates? Because it's kind of happening now with so many games, even if they're not live service, they get a lot of post-game support. But Grounded's already had that. It had like 3 major updates after its 1.0 release, adding new content, adding new features. They simply just cannot put anything else into this game. It's running on the OG consoles. They made sure it ported to PlayStation 4 and they got it on the Switch as well. They've pretty much said that the old systems just simply can't take any more being added to Grounded. And in the past when they've added stuff, it's taken twice, 3, 4 times as long to get that content out there and working correctly because the game is creaking. It's made in Unreal Engine 4. It is just pretty old now. Work on it actually began back in 2018. Grounded isn't a live service game, so it's okay. It can just finish. And I know that's weird for PlayStation players as it only came out a few months ago, but that's just the way it is with Microsoft only now changing their strategy of releasing more games on other platforms. At least you got to play one of the best survival RPG games going. We're currently waiting for an update, 1.4.4, that's confirmed, that's in the works with hotfixes, and I'm praying that Obsidian are not just being stubborn here and they are going to do some balance changes. I think there's been enough feedback to suggest that New Game Plus is kind of balked a bit. Like, it works, it's functional, it's grindy. Is it 100% fun? No, it definitely needs some improvements or changes. Great concept, great idea, and it's nearly there. It just needs something to make it a bit fairer instead of those bullshit attacks that you get with so many of the magic stuff that's happening with infused creatures, and just give a little bit more reward for people's time that you're asking them to invest, which could be another 25-30 hours to get through a New Game Plus. That's my opinion, but it is also based on so many of the comments and sentiment I've seen, and the review scores for Grounded on Steam have actually dipped since New Game Plus came out, with not just people complaining about that, they have been complaining about the need to sign into Xbox for some reason. So I'm not going to hyperbole and say it's just New Game Plus's problem, but it has dropped about 3% in all reviews in the last 30 days, which means it leaves it at 90% overall, but they'd only just got there about 3-4 months ago. Anywho, it needs changing. It does. It needs some adjustments. I think I've seen them being a bit stubborn in not getting that out, or simply they just don't have enough people working on it anymore because they are being moved on to Grounded 2. We know they've got some people working on updates, well, hotfixes, but not new content. There will not be any new content added to Grounded. I have to put all that in there because I always get the same comments from PlayStation players. Now let's move on. Obsidian Entertainment is working on an unannounced title. The studio is currently known to be working on The Outer Worlds 2 and Avowed. The Grounded team come to mind as possibly working what is next for that IP. Globriel is basically like an Xbox fanboy. He sometimes has a bit of leaked news and stuff, but generally more just focusing in a good way. He seems to think that this IP is Grounded, and when you check in the link, it's to do with this guy, Daniel Kabuko, who's just basically got a job as art director. Now at first I thought it meant outsourced director, it could be both, but that's what he's listed at right now, art director on unannounced title. So it doesn't mean for sure that this relates to Grounded. It could mean something else, it could mean some of their other titles. They might be working on another Pillars of Eternity game. They could be working potentially even on another Pentiment game, Pentiment 2. But I've got some theories and stuff about that, so let's dive into it. Double 11, people behind ports for things like Red Dead Redemption on Switch. They're actual pretty much main developers now of Fallout 76. They did the last major update, or last 2 updates I do believe, as well as pretty much all the event content. They have made console rust happen. It's not just direct port built up from the ground up, hence why it was pretty crap when it launched, but might be better now. And they've done things like Minecraft Dungeons and other games in the past. So they've got a pretty strong relationship with Xbox. You can see here like 3 titles, 4 now with Grounded, they did the ports for PlayStation 4, 5 and Switch. The thing with Double 11 is though, you generally won't hire a company like this because they're quite expensive, they've been around, just to do one game. And they have a relationship where they generally co-develop a lot of games. Like I said, they rebuilt Rust from the ground up, not just simply a port, and they've been working on Fallout 76. So if this guy is an outsourced director, that means he's basically in charge of making sure that any outside companies they use have got the right kind of style, the right kind of art, they're making the right kind of stuff for the game. But it does say he's an art director, not outsourcing here. I'd be pretty sad if he was replacing Kaz, who is the current art director of Grounded, as I love the art of Grounded. I think it's one of the best features about the game. Obviously, do more than just like, you know, what the art looks like. It's about the vision of the game as well. So yeah, bit of an odd one. I hope he hasn't replaced him. I don't think so. And I think that maybe he could be potentially either being an outsourced director or simply, yeah, just having or helping out. So that's my tinfoil hat. They've got a relationship with Double 11. They've done one port with them. Double 11 are expensive. They generally have multi kind of format stuff. It wouldn't surprise me if Double 11 were maybe slightly co-developing the next Grounded 2, or at least going to be in mind to do the ports for it. Now that Grounded will definitely come out on all platforms eventually. I think it will be just like the original, come out on Xbox in game preview and Steam, and then hit a PlayStation and Switch a little while later. I could be wrong. Maybe it is just the case they got them to do that and they're not going to use Double 11 again, but they seem to cozy up quite a bit on Twitter. Double 11 are obviously going to be doing the ports for any updates that come out, hence why it's taking a bit longer to get any kind of balance changes or hotfixes out. Grounded used to be really quick, but now it is definitely taking a lot longer. Grounded originally was made by a super tiny team, maybe only about 15 people. I think at max now they're up to maybe like 20, 25, and they could be using a port team to help co-develop it, or at least just get stuff ready. Now, there are other games. If you look through the comments here, a lot of people are praying and hoping it might be Fallout New Vegas 2, but a lot of people kind of see it that it could be absolutely Grounded. So the other big rumour could potentially be a new Fallout game. Obsidian have worked with Bethesda. They made Fallout New Vegas, one of the most beloved games out the franchise, but they've got a rocky history. Obsidian basically got stiffed. They missed out a percentage score on Metacritic and didn't receive bonuses, and then Bethesda basically just didn't use them again for any other projects. Bethesda are seemingly pissed that New Vegas actually got better review scores or better sales than a lot of their actual other Fallout titles. But they have both said, people at work, the founders of Obsidian and Todd Howard, founder of Bethesda, that they'd be willing to maybe have them conversations again about working together. So that could potentially happen, but what does it have to do with Grounded? Well, Adam Brennicky and his art director Kaz, they could potentially be bumped up to work on something like a Fallout game. That could be the only reason I would see Adam Brennicky, the game director of Grounded, actually not making Grounded 2, because Fallout's a huge franchise. Fallout is the one. And when you add in the little conversation about, obviously, Double 11 co-developing Fallout 76 lately, the last two updates and expansions, then that could be potentially something that happens. Well, that is such a huge rumour. There's nothing been confirmed about a new Fallout game actually coming. At best, it wouldn't be here till 2029, 2020, 2030. Maybe if they got like a huge amount of developers on board, they could maybe get out a bit earlier. But no, looks like the plan is Elder Scrolls, then Fallout, whatever game it is. So I don't think it's going to be anyone from Grounded going over there. And this guy just doesn't have enough experience to be in charge of a major franchise like that. So I do think he's probably just helping out with Grounded, either with Double 11 co-developing or just helping out the original game director Kaz. Adam Brennicky worked on the Pillars of Eternity series. He's worked at Obsidian a long time, but the DLC, I think Deadfire was his baby. This is a top-down series of games. It's set in the same universe as Outer Worlds. You could say potentially this game might be something they want to look at, but they never sold millions upon millions of copies. It definitely helped them out, pretty much go from bankruptcy. They ended up kickstarting to get the first game made. Who knows, maybe Adam has a real love for this series and would love to make a third one where he's completely the game director rather than just the DLC director. But with Avowed coming out, I think they want us to make sure that's going to be a success before putting any more games into that universe, even if it is very different into the third or first person. And I think a third title might be just a bit beyond pretty much Adam Brennicky's skills and talents now. So it could be, potentially, this is what this guy's been hired to work on. It's nothing to do with Outer Worlds 2. That game might not be out to 2026, but it's already in development. It's already got its art direction team. And again, relying on people that made the first one or people with a lot more experience. And this can't be for Pentiment 2. Pentiment 2 didn't really sell amazingly. Microsoft want games to start selling now because they need to pay back the money they spent on Activision. They do love Pentiment, it's like an indie little darling for them, but I would say if this is going to be made again like a sequel, it'd be made by the original game director, who's like founder, one of them, of Obsidian, Josh Sawyer. That's his job, that's his baby. I can't see them hiring someone fairly new or with not as much experience with this kind of stuff working on this game. So no, it's not Pentiment 2. So there we go, folks. It's small, it's really tiny, but it's pretty much all we've got to go on at the moment in new news. I'll keep saying it till I'm blue in the face. Grounded is a massive franchise. It's going to have lots of sequels. It may have different types of Grounded games. It might not be what we're expecting. There is that other possibility that this guy has been hired to make something completely new. Think of like Minecraft Dungeons or Minecraft Legends, something like that. Maybe a 2D scroller in Grounded universe. But yeah, I do think it is Grounded related. I can't see it, like I said, going and working on any of them other games, except the exception being maybe Path of Exile as a third one. Of course, I get any more info, I'll let you guys know. We're going to see, as I said, Obsidian and Avowed. A trailer of that is going live at Gamescom. I'm pretty sure it's going to be the release date trailer. I will be covering Avowed here on this channel because I know so many of you guys just love Obsidian now, even if it's not Grounded. And let me know what you think about my tinfoil hat theories. Until next time, Ratbags, trying to keep you educated and informed, even if sometimes it's a bit tinfoil hat stuff. I'll see you, Ratbags, later.